Good day, my people, my people, my people, my people, my people. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. My people, I hope that you had a very restful night and you wake up this morning full of vigor and strength and are ready to face this new day. Father, my people, the Most High have woke us up in our right mind. We can walk, we can talk, and we can participate in life. And if you are experiencing any ailments, I want you to know that faith can move mountains. Faith in the Most High can take care of any ailment you are experiencing today. Today's topic is, why did Yahuwahshua, aka Jesus Christ, spoke in parable? Let us approach the throne of the Most High and thank Him for this opportunity to come before Him and speak His words. O great supremance of the Most High. Father, you are the omnipotent power. You controls everything. There is nothing that ever happens that evades or escapes your knowledge. Father, even the leaf that falls from a tree that is covered with millions of leaves have to get your permission to fall to the ground before it falls. Most High, I ask that you'll put only the things you have placed upon my heart, upon my lips. Father, for you are my light and my salvation. In Yahushua's name I say, let it be done. Let us turn our Bibles to Psalms 78 verse 2. And let us read from 2 to 4. Psalm 78 verse 2. I will open my mouth in parable. I will utter hidden things, things from of old, things we have heard and know, things our ancestors have told us. We will not hide them from our descendants. We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, of His power and His wonder, and of the wonder He has done. My people, these are the words of King David, the second king of Israel, as he revealed what the Most High put upon his heart to tell his people. From our study of scriptures, there was never a time when David spoke in parable because he had no reason to speak in parable. So what we see here, this passage of scripture is a prophecy that the Most High have given to David. And as we would know, a prophecy foretell a condition in the future which will give rise to a particular event that was foretold. My people, there is no question that the Son of the Most High, Yahuwahshua, aka Jesus Christ, have understood the Bible. He understood the scripture and he committed the scriptures to memory. All of the books were committed to his memory. In Luke chapter 2 verse 41, a story is told. Mary and Joseph took Jesus to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover when Jesus was 12 years old. When it was time for them to leave, they left Jerusalem and they thought Jesus was with the other family members. However, when they were 2 days' journey into their trip back to their home, they discovered that Jesus Christ, Yahuwahshua, was not with them. So they went back to Jerusalem And they found Yahuwahshua, aka Jesus Christ, in the temple, conversing and dialoguing with the lawyers, the scribes, the Pharisees, and the doctors. He was not only conversing with them, he was stunning them with his knowledge of the scriptures and his ability to understand sacred things. So we see here, even at the age of 12, Yahuwahshua, aka Jesus Christ, understood the Holy Scriptures, and he had already committed the word of his Father to his memory. Another thing we must realize is that when Jesus was speaking to the multitude or to his disciples, or when he was teaching, he never uttered his own words, he never uttered his own idea, and he never uttered his own feeling. Everything that he said in the confine of his ministry, he quoted the prophets that came before him. He quoted Isaiah, he quoted King David, he quoted Jeremiah, he quoted all of the prophets. Everything that Yahuwahshua says can be traced right back to one of the prophets who the Most High had sent before him to prepare the nation of Israel to accept Yahuwahshua as the Redeemer. So he had no reason to create new phrases, new saying, and new doctrine. All he had to do was to come and to do the will of his Father who sent him. And that is what he did. My people, let us turn to Matthew chapter 13, verse 3. And it says, "And Jesus spoke many things to them in parables, saying," and he gave them the parable of the wheat and the tares. My people, this instant marked the beginning of Jesus speaking in parable. How do you know that? If we go down to Matthew 13:10, we will discover the disciple came to him and said to him, "Why are you speaking to them in parables?" Because it was not his custom to speak to the multitude, to the Israelites that came to hear him preach and teach in parable. He always spoke to them in plain, clear, understandable language, the language of their mother's tongue. So the question we have to ask here, why did Jesus start speaking in parable? Now, when the disciples asked Jesus, "Why are you speaking to the masses in parable?" Because they were afraid, they would not understand, they would not be able to garner the meaning of the parable that Yahuwahshua was telling to them. So they were concerned that in his speaking, the message he intended for the people he was speaking to would be missed. Matthew 13:11. This is what Jesus said: "Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven." Reading this on face value, you may get the impression that Jesus was telling the disciples, the only reason why I am speaking in parable, because it was for you, my disciples, to know the mystery of heaven, and not the congregation. But that's not what he was saying. He was saying that it was given to you, the Israelites. Because remember, he was speaking to all of his disciples to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But unto them it is not given. So here we see a division was made. You and them, we and them. But the question we must ask here is, who are the thems? Who are the them Jesus is speaking about in Matthew 13:13. Then he go on and say, because in seeing they see not, hearing they hear not, neither do they understand, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. It's Elias, but it's Isaiah, the translation is. Now, what we see here is that Jesus was now quoting Isaiah chapter 6, verse 10, when he made this declaration. But it still does not tell us who are the them Jesus was speaking about. So he further went on, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand, and by seeing ye shall see and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is wax gross. And it means these people who he's talking about, the them, Yahuwahshua, aka Jesus Christ, the Son of the Most High, he was speaking about, he was saying their heart was wax gross. Their heart were extremely wicked. Then Jesus sent the multitude away without giving them an explanation to the parables he had just taught them. So here we see the them that Jesus was speaking about earlier in this chapter. He have given us a characteristic that described the them, that their heart is extremely wicked. Let me lay the foundation for you as it relates to what was happening in Israel at this period of time. Israel was occupied by Rome. By the time Jesus was preaching and teaching, the Roman would have occupied Israel for about 90 years, which began in BC 63. And remember, Jesus Christ born in AD 05. So by this time, Israel would have been occupied by the Romans for about 90 years. Before that, they were occupied by the Greeks for 270 years. And we have to remember that the Greeks and the Romans who now occupy Israel are Caucasians. It is important that you know that. Don't forget that when Jesus Christ, Yahuwahshua, the Son of the Most High, was a baby, King Herod, the king of Jerusalem, ordered that all the babies under 2 years old be killed because he wanted to destroy Yahuwahshua. When he was born, he created a bloodbath of innocent people. So when Yahuwahshua, aka Jesus Christ, says that their heart is wax gross, is extremely wicked, he was speaking about a particular people, not the Israelites, but a particular people, not rebellious Israelites, but a particular group of people, the Caucasians. And they have demonstrated how extremely wicked they were when Herod ordered that every child in the nation of Israel under 2 years old must be brutally slaughtered. People, we must never forget. We must never forget. Let me go further. Apart from the brutal murder of thousands of babies under 2 years old. Jesus, Yahuwahshua, aka Jesus Christ, becomes a person or became a person of interest to the Roman. The Roman was ruling Israel without any obstruction. Everyone were under their thumb. The Israelites were afraid of the Romans, and rightfully so, because they've proven that they were a people who had no conscience and no feelings, because they demonstrated this when they slaughter all of these babies. Now let us go. Here comes a man in Israel. He's not only performing miracles, he started a little group of people who were following him. And not only were his 12 disciples following him, masses of people also followed him. Masses of people follow him, and they call him the Redeemer. He called himself the Son of God. The people looked to this man who was able to heal the sick, to raise the dead, to cast out devils and demons. They looked to him for their redemption. So by this time, Jesus Christ had become a person of interest to the Romans. So when Jesus was preaching in Matthew chapter 13, in the crowds were the Romans listening to him. In the crowd, the Romans were there listening to what he was saying. Now Jesus became concerned not for his life, because Jesus knew the entire scripture he had committed to his mind. Jesus knew that Malachi chapter 1 verse 2 to 4 said, the Most High, his Father who sent him, whose will he came to do, said that he will hate the Edomites, and he will hate the Edomites forever. You have to remember, Jesus Christ knew that the Caucasians, the Romans, and the Grecians were the Edomites that his father hated. That is why he went back to Isaiah chapter 6, and he quoted Isaiah chapter 6. He remembered that his father David says that he will speak in parables. Now it was time for he to fulfill the prophecy that was relayed to Yahuwahshua by his father David, that he will speak in parables. That is why Yahuwahshua, aka Jesus Christ, began to speak in parables, because he recognized the Caucasians who were standing in the presence of the people who were listening to him. So why was he speaking in parables? Because in hearing, if he speak clearly, they may understand, and they may come to him, and he will heal them. Remember the centurion in chapter 8, the Roman soldier, the centurion who had command over many Roman soldiers, came to him and begged him to come and heal his servant. So we see the centurion realized that in this man is the power to heal. And he came and he asked for favors, that Yahuwahshua, the Son of the Most High, must heal his servant. The gospel was not meant for them. So Yahuwahshua started speaking in parables, because he didn't want them to hear, he didn't want them to understand. Because they will turn and come to him and ask him for healing. And it was not desire. It was not his will. It was not his intent to offer healing to those people who his father said he hates. People, remember, Jesus made a division. You see, it is given unto you, the Israelites, to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it is not given, because the kingdom of heaven is not for them. People, this is the reality. You will not learn this from your preachers. You will not learn this from your pastors. You will not learn this from your prophets, because your preachers, your pastors, your bishops, your elders, your prophets are all in it for money. They are in it for the money. They were taught by the Caucasians, who have taught them how to deceive you and ensure that you lose out on the kingdom of heaven, the mysteries which you should know. They have taught those bishops and elders and preachers and pastors to teach you wrong so you can go to hell with them. My people, my people. So we see here, Jesus said boldly, the mystery of the kingdom of heaven is for the Israelites. Not for them, not for those people whose heart is what's gross, not for those people whose heart is deceitfully wicked. And the Caucasians has proven over the course of modern history how wicked they are. Look at how they deal with black people around the world, from Europe to America. Everywhere they go, they oppress and exploit the people they come into contact with. They wanted to kill Yahuwahshua, the Son of God. And because they didn't get to identify him immediately, they killed thousands of children under the age of 2. The actions of the Caucasians. It is the same way they did when they went for Muammar Gaddafi. They bombed Gaddafi's compound, and they bombed all of the villages around Gaddafi's residence to ensure that Gaddafi do not escape. Thousands of people die. This is what they did in order to kill al-Baghdadi. They bombed al-Baghdadi's compound, and they bombed all of the village around al-Baghdadi's compound, killing thousands of people to ensure that al-Baghdadi die. So when Yahuwahshua spoke, he was not spoken out of turn. He knew what he was speaking about. They bombed Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Everywhere they go, they rape the women, they murder the men. This is the behavior of the Caucasian. That is why Yahuwahshua says, the Son of the Most High says, their heart is extremely wicked. My people. In other words, Yahuwahshua starts speaking in parable because it was not in his place to reveal the secret of the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of his Father, to the Caucasians, to the Romans who were now filling up his audience, wanted to hear about the word of the Most High and wanted to be healed from the Son of the Most High, who had the power to heal every ailment under the sun. He had the power to cast out every demon. Even Lucifer feared and trembled in the presence of the Son of the Most High. He had the power that was given to him by his father. The mysteries of the kingdom of heaven were not given to the Caucasian, because they will never inherit the kingdom of heaven. That is the fact. That is the Bible. That is not me saying that. This is what the Son of the Most High, Yahuwahshua, says. That is why they change up the Bible. They take out certain books out of the Bible. They alter those passages in the Bible that they left there to reflect or to give or to follow a particular narrative, a narrative that will see the Israelites remain ignorant as to who they are, who their father is, and what are their obligations to their God. A narrative that is designed to see the Israelites go into hell with them people. Yahuwahshua, their heart is extremely wicked. Extremely wicked. What kind of person would order and have his men carry out the murder of innocent children? Children who are loving and kind and are willing to help and serve. What kind of man would order, would give such an instruction? What kind of man will order that innocent children be murdered? Not one, but thousands of innocent children. What kind of people will have the heart to execute that order? They have to be gross, wicked. Even the midwife in Pharaoh day, when our people were in Egypt, Pharaoh instructed the midwife to kill the newborn before they were born. The midwife refused because they had a heart. But these Roman soldiers didn't refuse because their heart is wax, gross, extremely wicked. And this is the fact. They have deceived the whole world into believing that they are who they are not. Don't forget a publication of the Edomites, the Encyclopedia Britannica, under the subject Jerusalem, subheading Romans rule. It says that Herod was an Edomite. And we know from the practice of Rome, if you are going to be given any high profile office in Rome, you have to be a full-blooded Roman. If you are in a foreign state and you were born in that foreign state and you're not a full-blooded Roman, you cannot be king, because your obligation must always be to the seat of Rome. Your obligation must always be to the emperor of Rome. Herod was an Edomite. Therefore, all Romans are Edomites. And the Bible said that also. Because when Esau, the father of the Edomite, was born, his description is there clear. It was the description of a Caucasian. My people, I hope what I say was clear. This is not Alan speaking. This is Alan telling you what the word of the Most High says. And the word of the Most High must always be spoken. It must always be told. You cannot be afraid to speak the word of the Most High, because what can any man do you that the Most High cannot protect you from? What can any man give you that the Most High cannot take from you? What can the Most High give you that a man could take? There is nothing that the Most High have given to me that anyone can take away. And there is nothing that anyone can do to me that the Most High cannot protect me from. I cannot run from the hands of God. I cannot defend myself from the hands of God. Yahweh is the creator of all heaven and earth. He is omnipotent. He is omniscient. He is omnipresent. He's all-powerful, all-knowing, and he is everywhere. If you run to the depths of the ocean, he is there. You run to the heavens, he's there. Into a volcano that is erupting, he's there. You cannot be afraid to do what the Most High have instructed you to do. You cannot be afraid to do what the Most High have instructed you to do. Oh, great supreme and sovereign Most High, as I come before you, the people today, I've spoken your word, not my words. This is outlined in the Holy Bible, not the scriptures, the Bible, that the Caucasians had tampered with and given to us for our edification. So, Father, if I was unclear, please bring clarity to your words so that your people will understand. My people, my name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the Diaspora Machismo. I'll talk to you tomorrow.